I'm back, baby. I'm Jen Lederer, communication strategist, stand-up comedian, workshop facilitator, speaker, and I'm here talking about AI. AI meets being a human. Is it possible in this world? I think so. I, am not against AI. I use it. I think it's so helpful. And I think there is a cost to handing your power over to the robots, your power being original thought, creative processes, human connection. That all still matters. And there is a cost to automating absolutely everything in your business. At least I think so. The human has to show up somewhere. Before I keep going, I want to remind you that I've got a live virtual workshop happening Wednesday, July 30th. It's called AI for HR, Your People Problems Solved. If you manage a team, if you manage people and you find yourself saying, I know that there is a lot of talent here. How do I optimize it? How do I get the most out of what I have? Join the workshop, because I'm going to be showing you how I integrate AI into my corporate work to help people strengthen their communication, which allows for better collaboration, stronger company culture, and more clarity across the board so you can get the most out of your people as well as out of yourself. I use the same approach to my one-on-one work with solopreneurs, and it's really incredible what insight we can get from the AI integration. So join that. It's $99 to join. I would love to have you, and you get the recording if you can't join live. Okay. What is the cost of automating everything? You are leaving gold on the table if you choose to completely disengage with the messaging in your company, especially if you are having the robots write your newsletter, write your blog. It's SEO optimized. Great. You're showing up consistently online. Fine. And when people come to me and they say, Jen, how do I get better at communication? How can I deliver a more impactful presentation to my team? How can I show up online more authentically? The only answer is to do it. You have to actually do it. You cannot sit there and read through a bunch of words that you didn't even write and think that your voice is going to sharpen. There is also an exploration and a refinement of your voice and your message that happens when you engage with your messaging, when you actually hear it coming out of your mouth, right? And let's talk managing teams. You can sit down and strategize everything with AI. But what happens when we pull it off the page and put it into real life, right? When you're dealing with different personality types, different stress levels, different workflows for different departments, all of those things, there's such a disconnect when you receive a memo that you can tell is written through an idealistic point of view of assuming first of all, everyone's thinking the same way, everyone's working the same way, everyone has the same capacity, and you're just supposed to adopt initiative after initiative. There is no nuance in that. And your team can feel you're not really seeing me. You're not really understanding where I am, the human, in all of this. So I think, and have experienced, the cost of disengaging, stepping back, so much so that you actually aren't even sure what's being put out for marketing or internally. Not only can the audience, whoever that is, your team or potential clients or the people watching you online, they can feel that because you sound like everybody else if you aren't putting any of your original thought into it. But you're also missing out on the absolute gold that comes from putting yourself into the process. And when you look at things from different angles, when you say, okay, what about speaking this same message to this type of personality or this type of audience, or let's flip it a different way, you become more clear on what it is you're saying so that you actually know it. Have you experienced the difference between knowing something in your head and knowing something in your body? I know that you can feel it and see the difference when there is someone speaking about a topic. When they know it, they have the information, but do they know it in their body? Can they talk about it from any angle? You can ask them anything about it. And if they don't know, they admit it, right? That is getting lost. That ability to bring things to life is lost when you automate absolutely everything in your business, especially the showing up online, showing up for your team. You know, there's all of this data that companies collect about who is on their team, what's happening in the market, and then who is filtering that information to then bring it into the present moment and bring it to life. To actually engage with that data in a real way versus, okay, this is good information, let's file it away. This is good information, let's file it away. And we have all of this data that you're literally sitting on. And maybe you have the robots analyze it and give you that, but it's still 2D. And if you do not engage with your messaging, with your data, with the information that you have and want to deliver to the people, you are leaving gold on the table. That's the message for today. So I'm curious how you actively engage with your business on a regular basis, especially if you are looking at how can I automate all of this so that it runs on its own. Okay, that's fine. But even with what is being automated, do you step in and make sure that it's your voice or the brand voice that's really inside of it, and the brand experience that you want to create? That's nuance. That's taking past and present and future information into context. That's putting humans into context, who you're talking to, instead of talking at. Are you integrating all of this information so that it's cohesive, not just to the strategy, but it's cohesive in you, in your team, so that there's a deeper understanding of what's being said, why it's being said, and who it's being said to? All right, I'm going to leave you with that today. This is the last live I'm doing today. Until next week, I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, same channel, talking about AI from a million different perspectives and angles. If you have any questions, comments, I would love to hear them. If there's a take that you want to hear me wax poetic on, let me know. I can absolutely do that in one of these lives. And again, join me for that virtual workshop, AI for HR. It's happening Wednesday, July 30th, 12 p.m. Eastern, $99 to join. And I'm going to give you my exact strategies for how I integrate AI into strengthening communication with your team so that you can really optimize what you have in front of you. I will see you there. See you next week. Have a beautiful weekend. Until next time.